Welcome.
Yes, welcome. Welcome to the podcast. Brian was like, your background looks awful. So
there's a pretty bike up there. It's beautiful.
But I started putting pictures of this up, but I realized they're way too small
for
cute. Like back there. So I'm going to make a Run Galway Girls like poster for under the bike, and then maybe some bigger pictures.
That's so cute.
If you're watching on YouTube.
Aww.
Okay, so here we go. All right, I still feel like maybe my mic is turned up a little. No, I think we're
good.
Perfect.
All right. I hold it closer, so.
All right, so here we go.
Here we go.
Run injury free. Yeah, we're both injured.
Yeah. I'm Naomi.
I'm Liz.
And we're the Run Galway Girls, or maybe the not running so much
we're
Galway
the
Girls.
Recovery Galway Girls.
We are still the Run Galway Girls.
And we're always back here whenever we can be, which is not often, but sometimes it is. And yeah, we're both recovering or injured, it seems like. And so we're going to do a little update on what's going on with us and what our plans are and how we're handling it.
Yes.
And maybe even how we're like a continuation of our like how to handle injuries episodes.
Yeah. I think there's just, it just keeps feeling like, 2 steps forward, or maybe it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
I think it's more like,
but
like lateral steps. Right? I hate to think of it as like backwards because
I agree.
Like where we like it's just going somewhere different. Right?
And then yes, it is. And there's also like when
because if it's backwards, then I'm just looking at 2019
depressing.
And sobbing.
No, it's not. And like there is a lot to be said with, cross training and strength training and actually how much fitness you still retain, as we just saw with like some of my recent running up until, which I was doing great until a few days ago.
Your injury,
yeah.
So let's start because everybody knows about my foot.
Oh,
let's
they
start
don't know the
there,
new news of
and
your
then
foot.
let's like go from so right after running the Santa race, hurt my foot.
Beginning of December.
I was like, this hurts. Gotta be a stress fracture. Must be fourth metatarsal because that's where I felt the pain when I was walking around. However, I just got a repeat x-ray and I have 2 healed fractures, one in my second metatarsal and one in my third metatarsal.
Oh, weird.
Which makes sense because on the treadmill, it felt like my foot like exploded like from the inside, like it overspread or something. It was very, very weird when it happened. And then from then on, I was walking on the side of my foot. So I think that pain in my fourth metatarsal was actually like metatarsalgia from walking funny.
Yeah.
For weeks before like being in a boot and everything.
Right.
And then I had to come out of the boot because we got snowstorms here. So I came out of the boot too soon, which just like continued on. And then finally I'm like, okay, it still hurts a little bit. I'm going to get this x-ray. And then I messaged the doctor on Thursday and was like, yeah, it still really hurts. Like, I don't really know what to do. Like, and he's like, yeah, well, the fractures aren't where you said it, that it hurt when you saw me, which was later, right? And then the last 2 days I've had no pain. So
which is great. Have you done anything different this week besides you're still just kind of resting it, right? You're not trying to run.
So I was so sick on Wednesday and I walked like 1,000 steps.
It was like a real rest
But
day.
like really I've been like Addison's been really sick and I was sick. So aside from trying out my lever, I really have done like nothing. Like I've been walking like no more than 5,000 steps. And I think it's seriously just time.
Yeah.
And I think time and not like, letting myself be up on my feet all the time.
Right.
And then I've actually had a lot more like barefoot time on our soft carpet versus being in shoes. I don't know. So maybe I was like more aware of how often anyway.
But time,
time,
for sure.
Time for sure. And I did get quite a bit of steps yesterday, so I'm excited that like hopefully we just like I won't be continued to be injured for a long time.
Right.
So my plan to come back is I'm going to try to get 10,000 steps a day, 8 to 10,000 because I'm not like married to a number, but for 4 days. If I'm still pain-free after 4 days, I'm going to add in 5 minutes of running.
Nice.
And that's it.
Yeah.
5 minutes for a week.
Yeah.
And then I will go from there and kind of see what's happening.
Right.
And I may add the lever in, but I'm not going to, like, it's either going to be 5 minutes of running total, not like, oh, well, the lever
Doesn't count.
took this much off or whatever. Nope. If I want to keep doing more and I feel okay, I can walk, I can cycle. Like, I don't need to return to running if it's going to set me back to where I am right now.
Right. Let's
Or
talk
where
about
I
this,
was.
this contraption that I'm staring at. Yeah, the lever. So you invested. Now you can rent them, right? But like you bought.
You can't.
You can't rent them. Oh.
They say that you can, but they're all sold out.
Oh, well, that makes
So
sense.
I bought the Lever Plus scale. And so it connects to an app. It's very cool.
And
there's a learning curve.
And it's a thing that you put on your treadmill that then you hook yourself up to somehow with these special shorts, and it takes your body weight, or like 60% of your body weight.
It takes up to 45 pounds.
Okay.
So up to 45 pounds. I will say I used it one time, and I ran at like 6:40 pace.
Damn.
And it felt so good. I just ran a straight mile, and I was like playing with it. So like I had like a 15-second break. So it looks, I think on my Strava, like I ran a 7:15. But like I starts and stops and things like that. But it was amazing. It felt really good. The problem is the shorts don't quite fit me.
I've heard that problem with a lot of people.
My thighs are huge compared to like my waist and my butt. And so they really squeeze my hamstrings, and it caused like a little bit of hamstring tenderness.
Oh.
So I bought the PT harness, which is like just a waist strap with like 2 straps that go around your legs. And so my hope is that with that, I'll be able to get a fit that works for me to be able to use it. I did get a discount, so rather than being like $1,300, it was $999.
Okay.
So not super expensive, but I figured you have a Soul treadmill, I have a Soul treadmill, Sarah has a Soul treadmill. Between the 3 of us, it would be a worthwhile investment for whoever needed it at the time.
That's a cool idea.
So I like didn't think like, oh, I'm gonna have this. I was like, well, I'm buying it for like the group, for the team.
Awesome. Yeah, speaking of like Sarah, so we ran on Saturday a week ago, and we did mile repeats, and she was kicking ass, and she was saying how amazing it was because she did PRP for her injury that she's having, a groin injury, like whenever it was, for going on for a long time. Just like you said, it was a complete rest. The PRP helps, but it's like the complete rest part of it.
I think it's conjunction. I really do think that it's a conjunction.
The two things together.
I really believe in PRP treatment.
I do too.
I've been reading the studies on it since I was injured. And like I really wanted to do PRP for my ribs, but at the time, it was like 2006 or something. And at the time, it was $800 for treatment, and $800, that might as well have been $4,000 for me.
Yep.
At that time in my life, because I was making like $30,000 a year. So like I could not, and I think it might have even been $1,500 at that point for treatment.
Probably.
And
because even now it's still, I don't know what I paid.
It's still $600 to $800.
I think I paid $600 or $700 for my foot. And yeah, no, I agree, it was worth it. I also agree the rest is part of it, like the two together.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's great that it's advanced that much since then, that it's more available.
I think it's more they're seeing that it works.
Yeah.
They're seeing there's some benefit to it. I don't think they quite understand the mechanisms. And at the time that I was originally researching it, they were talking a lot about prolotherapy too. And prolotherapy is similar in the sense that they inject something into you to try to promote healing. And for those of you who don't know, platelet-rich plasma injections, what they do is they take your own blood, they spin it down, they get rid of all like kind of the blood cells, and they leave the platelets and the plasma. That's all. So it's like just the gold part of your blood, like the platelet-rich plasma part of your blood. And they re-inject it into the area. And the idea is those platelets stimulate your body to go, oh no, let's send some healing junks here. Like this area needs some healing stuff, but because it's your own body, it's not going to be toxic in any way, and it's not going to cause a bad inflammatory response. It causes like the right kind of inflammatory response.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the time they were talking about prolotherapy too. Prolotherapy is very similar in the sense that they inject something into that area, but the something they inject is sugar water.
Interesting.
And that sugar water, the idea is that it sends that same mild inflammation to create the healing. Now, I think the healing benefits of PRP is that the platelets themselves and the blood plasma
Right.
has all that good stuff that your body needs.
Exactly.
Right,
The
the-
regenerative
Exactly.
stuff.
And
Yeah.
the sugar water is just an inflammatory response.
Yeah, it's
So,
just telling your body to send something there, but it also could be,
Yeah.
It's almost, it kind of sounds like it's like, placebo effect on a higher level because
I think
but
it's still, I
it
think
can
there's still
send-
some merit, and
Right.
like the studies were hit or miss. Like,
right.
you know, I really think the studies are probably similar. Like, I know a lot of people swear by Shockwave, but it either works or it doesn't.
And it
It's
didn't work for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it won't work for someone else. I've seen some people with great success on it.
But like, also, was it the rest
Right.
with the Shockwave, right?
Right. True.
So-
Because I didn't fully rest.
And-
Because with Shockwave, they told me I didn't need to. So.
and then also, like, I mean, with injuries and with, you know, treatments and everything, a lot of it is like, well, we see it help some people, we see it like maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't. Like, they used to use ultrasound machines in PT clinics all the time. They're never used anymore because they
It's true.
realized it's just a massage.
Yeah.
Like, some PTs use hot lasers or cold
Yep.
lasers or whatever, and like the studies are, but like also the mind is crazy. So if the mind is great. If the mind is like, yeah, I really feel a benefit, do it. If it's part of your treatment. I mean, for me personally, I love dry needling. Some people are like, that sounds like torture.
I love
It
it
would
too.
never heal me because their mind has decided it's going to be more harm than good.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, I've seen so many things about, keeping, if you can keep optimistic with injuries and
Mhm.
how much that makes a difference in your healing process, injuries, surgeries, whatever you have going on. And it's really funny because you're just like, well, that makes no sense. Like, it's science. How could it? No, there is like a component of your brain
Yeah.
having to be on board with this whole thing. Or if in your, in the case of like what happened to me, like I'm wondering how much is there a psychosomatic thing where I had anxiety causing part of, what then resulted in this like possible disc tear. I don't exactly have diagnosis yet. So
Yeah.
so this just happened this week. We were skiing.
Oh yeah, let's
dive into my injury,
Yeah.
my latest injury.
Naomi
right?
is now injured, so I am on the road to recovery and ready to start running. So of
So
course,
naturally, I can't run, right?
Naomi's injured.
So,
But we
so-
could probably do my
Yeah.
recovery plan and your recovery
there's a
plan at
good
the same
chance-
time because we can
Yeah.
both walk together.
and there's a good chance I'll be back, soon. So it's not like, hopefully, it's, fingers crossed, it's really minor. So yeah, so we were skiing this week and I felt so strong. I was amazed how strong I felt. Woke up Wednesday morning to, at like 5 a.m. I was like, I'm gonna go work out in the gym. I think I'll go lift because I lifted on Sunday. I ran like Saturday and Sunday, did mile repeats on Saturday. Everything's been like, I've been so strong lately. And, like I was getting ready, literally go down to pick up my shoes. The doctor laughed at me because he was like, wait, you didn't pick up a kettlebell, you picked up your shoes? And all of a sudden my
Sorry.
back, it is funny. My whole upper back in between my shoulder blades radiating out into the shoulder, especially on one shoulder more than the other, just seized up and I could not move. And I literally was crying in that pain, which I do not go
Yeah.
to tears quickly with pain. But it was like, I was suddenly paralyzed essentially. And it was like, what is going on? And that lasted a few hours
And
until I
how
started
many-
taking some NSAIDs.
And how many days of skiing did you get?
One.
Off
So
of
Monday-
a 3-day trip,
Right. Monday we packed up the car. So I did a lot of like, over the head lifting of stuff, right?
Yeah.
We drove for however many hours. So I'm like in a car and then I'm lifting
Can
again.
we pause that?
Yeah.
Every single
Yeah.
time that I've been seriously injured recently, seriously injured for doing something nothing,
Yes.
right, has been involving a drive for longer than an hour.
Right.
Like, do you remember when I hurt my lower back hip?
Yeah.
Thing. It was like, I think 2022 winterish or something. Maybe it was right before I did Boston. I can't remember. But
Yeah.
and I just started running with you again and then was like out all of December because I hurt myself going down to my parents' house.
Yeah. No,
Driving,
I've
it's
had
the worst.
I know. I've had like other injuries like have happened from the car ride. Like when we went, one of the first times that my hip popped out of its
Yeah.
socket, Sublux in 2019. We're coming back from my father-in-law's funeral, and like Yeah, like I was, I
Yeah,
was
it's
just
the
sitting in a
worst.
car for that long.
It's the worst.
So
Or planes.
or
Too.
planes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
All right, so go ahead.
So we don't
So-
know. So like I wonder how much, and then skiing all day and doing black diamond stuff that I'm not the most comfortable. I do them because I want to be with my family.
Oh, yeah.
But I tense up.
Mhm.
So I know like I'm tensed up probably on the slopes. And so yeah, suddenly couldn't move anything. Debilitating pain for the next few days. I got to a spine specialist. I got the got muscle relaxers and steroids, and that has been helping to take the tension out. So we still don't know without an MRI whether I actually have a disc tear, which is what they suspect it to be, or whether it's something else. But it's obviously pressure on a nerve that's then turned, so it seized up all the muscles. The muscles are what's really painful.
Right, because the muscles are trying to
Yes.
stabilize whatever else is happening. They're like, hold up, something's not right.
They seize up, they
Yeah.
just lock up. And so yeah, time will tell. Like I have to go through PT and kind of go through some therapies to see if we can get it worked out with the steroids, the relaxers, and the PT. Then I'm probably on my way back to everything. They said, keep doing low impact. They said walking, and actually walking has felt great.
Good.
They said if I'm up to it, I can like put my treadmill on an incline and walk that way. I can hop on a stationary bike. I'm not up to that yet because I'm worried about pain. But that's good to know. Blood flow helps, and also they were like, we don't want you to lose your muscle at all.
Right.
There's that part of it. Get your heart rate up, and also like, but nothing pounding. So obviously that's
That
where
makes
running
sense.
is my like okay, or no lifting. Like it also could be from improper form with my deadlifts. Because like I did deadlifts on Sunday, and I love deadlifts, and it's very possible that I'm holding my neck a funny way, and they've really said it's just kind of the straw that breaks the camel's back. It will happen on a small thing. A lot of times it'll happen in non-traumatic ways when you're in your 40s.
So maybe what we should do is like go get, once you're better, we should go get a gym membership and a personal trainer for like a month to like practice with form and stuff.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Because I'm going to need to get out of this home gym because I have pretty much only been using my 10s and 50s, or I did 10s the other day for an arms and shoulders workout, but pretty much I use my 15 and 20 pound weights, and that's like it.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be good to get just like proper form, make sure we're doing it right.
Yeah.
I know you used to work in the, like you're much more, versed than I am on like how to lift properly, but proper exercises, I need to figure out what core exercises I need to be doing because that was clear.
Planks.
Well, they say planks aren't the best thing though. I'm gonna,
Who said?
I've heard it.
Planks are amazing.
Just planks, you think?
Planks.
Because I can even do that now. Like,
yep,
I can do planks without.
Because planks won't
neck.
hurt your neck.
Yeah.
Whereas like anything on your back, the other thing you could start with is bird dog. And like bear holds.
Yeah.
And then you need a balloon. And actually, Strong Core Mama agreed to come on our podcast.
Oh,
so
nice.
I think maybe this is going to be the perfect time to ask Anna.
Yeah.
To come on our podcast with your injury, because that, I think her core program would be the perfect thing for you. So I was actually talking to a friend who is a former dancer who had back surgery, and she was like carrying her like giant, she had her back surgery when her son was like 18 months and he's 3.5 now. And she was like carrying him in, and I was like, Amanda, this is amazing. Like she's like, I know, I couldn't even move before I had my back surgery. And she's like, I was able to get my core back because I was a dancer and I knew exactly what to do. I was like, I have that same core muscle memory from being a diver. Like my core just snapped right back. And like, I know how to engage even the small muscles in it. Like I actually looked at this. I did a free week of the Strong Core Mama program and like looked and like did everything for like, I did like the whole program, but like over 2 days.
Right.
Instead
you tried all the moves.
I tried all the moves. And I was like,
you didn't
okay,
follow
I
the
got it.
Protocol.
I was like, I got it. Like, because I've done so much PT in my life and my core is actually, my core and pelvic floor are super strong. And that actually help me diagnose my injury was an abdominal, and I had it all through pregnancy, was abdominal tendonitis.
Ooh, okay.
And so it's like right where your like rectus abdominis connects to your pubic bone.
Right.
And that's what was injured. And so once I isolated that, I was able to like, it's gone.
That's amazing.
Like,
that you got rid of the pain.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. But long story long, I think her program she uses a balloon in a lot of her moves you blow up the balloon as you're doing the move,
Yeah.
and that helps you engage all the little muscles.
The right muscles.
So yeah, it's very, very cool. So,
That is cool. Yeah, because that's the key is like finding the right muscles. Cause
like I'm having a little bit of a mom life crisis, and she posted something about like and it's a year-long program, become like a pelvic floor postpartum pelvic exercise specialist certification, and it's for like either PTs or fitness trainers or things. And I was like, man, maybe I need to do this, and maybe I need to like open up like from birth to back to fitness, like practice, and I'll do lactation consulting and like return to fitness for postpartum.
That would be really cool. Like, go get certifications.
Yeah.
And yeah. No, it's...
Should we quit our jobs? Should we do this? From like...
I know, it's so hard. Like, I don't want to work, but...
Right?
That would become work, though.
That's the problem. It would become work. But it would be so fun.
Yeah.
It would be so fun, like, to help people in that way. But...
Yeah. When I was having my crisis, when I was 30, 29, whatever age, Lila was like 1.
Yeah.
So when I was having my crisis, my mom life crisis, I like that.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted to become a physical therapist, and I was looking into it, and the problem was it's all labs and in person, and I needed to take online classes and this was pre-pandemic, obviously, so online classes were, not for everything. But I had to take online classes because I had to be home to put my daughter to bed, and so so that's when I decided to become a CPA.
Well, and you can't, like, for physical therapy, you can't go to school. I don't know why Siri
having
listening.
A problem.
Yeah.
Stop, Siri.
Sorry, Siri was listening on the computer for some reason.
She's gonna help us.
You have to, you can't work and get a doctorate of physical therapy. And you have to be in the state of Virginia, you have to have a doctorate of physical therapy now. It used to be very different. When I was in school to be an athletic trainer, you could just follow an accredited program and get your athletic trainer certified, and you could work at PT clinics. Now, ATCs can't work in PT clinics. They have to work under the guidance of a physician.
Yeah.
So
good.
Not all PT clinics have that, and so it makes more sense to get your physical therapy degree than it does to get your ATC.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was what it was 10 years ago, but I just remember that it was all in person.
Yeah.
That was just not, going to work, obviously. So, because I needed to be a mom and be like, how do I be there for my kid and make enough money to afford the kid? So.
Right. I mean,
was the whole thing.
It's like the trap of needing to have dual incomes to live in this area, and to live most areas
anywhere
now.
probably now. Yeah. I mean,
it's so crazy.
Yeah. Well, I like it. I mean, that'd be cool if you had the time, but
I know. My I would love it if we got to a place where eventually we are able to make Roncalli Girls some kind of full-time business for us.
We need to at least try to offset the darn cost.
The cost. even if we don't travel, offsetting the website costs of $300 a year.
I know, it's crazy.
But whatever. But so you feel optimistic that
I do, because I'm responding to the meds. But that also, again, it's that tells me that it definitely wasn't just muscular. It's definitely more of a nerve thing. And it depends on whether it's
it is muscular. If you're responding to steroids.
But I wasn't responding to a leaf. And if it's normally with tendons and muscles, I respond.
Yeah, but if it's this severe, you need the big guys.
The big guys. Bring in the big guns.
I personally upper back and neck pain is some of the worst because it is so the nerves are so sensitive. Yeah. And that once those muscles get tight and get aggravated, steroids are really
the only way to take it down a notch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so the good things are, first of all, it's upper back, not lower back. So I can walk. Yeah. Which is great because that would really suck.
And sit.
Sit. Yeah, I've had sciatica and it's so great to be able to walk and to be able to sit and not be as much pain.
Are you going to be able to work though?
It's a little bit of a struggle. When I've been working, it's a little difficult, but I'll just have to take breaks, and then PT will probably help me figure out which stretches to do.
Yeah, I mean, you probably can't use dictation.
Just really, right? That would be
Yeah.
cool, right? If I could. And
Oh,
then, but
man.
yeah, I think, I'm hopeful because even though if it is a tear, that can take 18 months to 2 years to actually heal because
Okay.
there's very low blood flow to the disc, the
They wouldn't
membranes
do
of the disc.
surgery though?
Not unless it's like serious enough.
Okay.
Usually let them heal on their own. But
Okay.
but the good thing is most of the time it seems like even if it's a tear, most people still can continue to move. Like
Do their
so we'll see what they say. Like
Oh, that's
I
good.
hope I hope they don't say no pounding, no whatever high
I
impact.
see you like painfully turning.
Yep,
Do you need to turn your body?
I like need to just like sit straight. It sucks,
Okay.
but I know. It's
Well,
hard
I'll
for me
just
to
look at you on the camera.
Hard for me to turn my head. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
awful.
It's
But
better than it was a few days ago.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Definitely
Well,
good. Helps to go see some good doctors. It's worth, like we're talking about the money. It's
And
it's a lot of money, but it's worth it.
After the round of steroids, because you can't be on steroids for too long,
Right.
Because they cause a whole
lot of other
host of problems.
Yeah.
After that, if you're not getting like the pain management with the NSAIDs, you could ask for Lyrica or Cymbalta. They're both painkillers that work on. Well, no, they're both medications that work on nerve pain specifically.
Yeah.
I can't remember the mechanism of Lyrica, but I know Cymbalta is an SNRI that works on nerve pain.
Very cool. Yeah, that's good to know. And so we'll see. So how are we pivoting? I mean, you had to take some complete rest. With the foot.
So I took some complete rest. Well, and I got sick. So
Right.
I was actually
You're forced
doing the Discover Your Power Zones program,
Oh,
and
cool.
then I got so I was doing that again, and then I got really sick. And I got like a head cold that was just debilitating, and I was so tired, and Addie was sick, and so sleep training was kind of out the window because she was sick, and so she like needed her mommy and all of that.
Yeah.
And then I got really sick, like vomiting overnight with a fever while she was sick, and luckily I feel so much better from that, but like that was the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I like started really strong. I was like lifting. I was up to like an hour and 20 minutes of like strength work.
That's awesome.
And in like the first week of January, and then got sick and all of that. And so just kind of back with that. So I'm just trying to get 20 minutes every time I can get 20 minutes.
Which is great.
Right. I've been doing strength, a lot of strength and a lot of riding. If I can, I'll try to do 45 minutes on the bike. I mean, really, I get about 45 minutes. That's all I get.
It's the window.
Right. So I get that window where Addison's asleep and I can start something, and then Brian can always get her after. But, that's what I have. So sometimes I'll stay on the bike for 45 minutes. Sometimes I'll do 20 minutes riding and then 20 minutes of lifting.
Right.
I still love the 10-minute classes on Peloton because stacking them feels more manageable if I have to bail.
Yeah. And that way you can get at least you can finish one.
Right.
And then if you can start another one, great.
Right. And then I also it's also like just a good reminder how simple the movements like can be to be effective, which is just really nice. So then sometimes I've actually been adding in playing with Addie, just like playing the same movements or similar like workout movements, but like with her. So I've been doing a ton of core playing with my baby.
Nice.
So like my core actually feels super strong. Like I am not struggling getting up and down off the floor like I was postpartum. And like even before, even when we were like running more, like I lost a lot of strength. Like I would say from like definitely from 2019, I was really strong, and I was probably really strong till about spring of 2021. And then like things just started to like go downhill from there.
I
got injured, I just stopped moving around as much.
It was the running that was keeping you strong though? Like, cause you weren't doing strength necessarily at the time?
I wasn't doing strength at the time, but I was doing a lot of physical play with the kids at school that I stopped doing.
Interesting.
At that time because I stopped being like part of a classroom group.
True.
During the pandemic. And like I just stopped doing like, prior to the pandemic, like I was running all the time, but I was also like coaching swimming
Yeah.
and coaching diving, which was a really physical job.
Right.
I was lifting children
Yeah.
all the time. Like
Right.
8 and 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, like scooching them off the board. And like,
Right.
I was just using my body in a way that like I don't anymore. And so like,
Yeah.
that's the other thing I'm trying to get back to is
Yeah.
like using my body to play a little bit more.
Yeah, I think if anything I'm learning from this, obviously how important strength is, it has helped me to maintain fitness throughout
Mhm.
like these injuries. And also I wish I could go back to my 30-something-year-old self,
Oh, yeah.
20-something-year-old self and be like, you do need strength, girl. Like I know at the time, you know, it was like, I don't need strength, I don't need stretching, I don't need any of this stuff. And when you
I
think
still
about,
don't think you need stretching.
well, it depends. It depends. I think there's some benefits. Like I do need calf stretching right
Yes,
now. But
yes.
so even back, you know, at
You
the
need
time,
balancing. We as
Yeah.
runners, we need to balance our bodies.
right.
And I think, you know, when I was single without a husband or a boyfriend, like I was like an alone person with no child. Like I think I used my body in a lot more playful ways than like I did. Like I would say the summer of 2021 was like my last like really fit summer. But you know, then again, we went into an IVF cycle, so doctors kept telling me you've got to like scale it
You had to
back,
stop.
scale it back, scale it back. That's why you're not getting pregnant. And then, you know, IVF, and then really like getting injured right after, like right as I found out my, you know, first round of IVF didn't work at all and we got no embryos. Like that was like the terrible mudslide into like fitness abyss, the
Aw.
unfit abyss. But it's all right. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's all gonna come back. Like,
Right. It
You
does.
know?
Like it does come back and I've been really surprised. Like I just a week ago, those mile repeats that I did just because Sarah was doing mile repeats. And I was like, I gotta start doing strength again or speed again because I wanted to go do some 5Ks soon.
yeah,
But-
I was gonna say something
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
You did marathon speed work. If you want to do 5Ks, you need to
I know.
chop that down. You need to do quarter miles.
Yes, I know. So I told her, I was like, why don't we do 1Ks? But she's doing marathon training. So
But
I
you
said,
still could have done quarter miles.
Well, I will if
and-
I do speed, when,
Yeah.
if, when, whatever.
Yeah,
But,
do
no, it was
quarter
just-
miles because you got to go faster than that. 7:45. That's slower than your 5K
Well,
pace.
No, what's amazing is, though, that on the road, they were faster than what I was doing
Yeah.
a year and 2 years ago
Yeah,
on the track.
absolutely.
Even though I haven't been doing speed, I haven't been primed for it as I was then when I was, like, actually marathon training.
You're so fast
So
right
it's
now.
telling me that, like, yeah, like, speed is there, even though I'm not able to, like, put the whole
It's
thing
gonna take
together.
me. It's gonna take me a long time. You're very, very fit. It's gonna take me a while to get back to
But
where you are right
what's
now.
great, it hasn't been high mileage as compared to
No,
2 years
no.
ago when it was high mileage and running those paces, and like now it's not high mileage.
I don't
it's-
think you need high mileage
balance.
to run speed. I think you need speed to be able to do high mileage,
yes. So
right? So you got to raise the ceiling to raise the floor.
it's the foot speed first, right? And so yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so exciting.
It's been surprising to me with like how limited I've been, and here we are again, like limited to where I'm going to be taking a forced break for a little while. But how it's there, it comes back as much as you like stress about it, thinking, well, I'm never going to see these faces or whatever. It's like, well, maybe you won't put together the exact same thing you had before, but you'll put together some pretty damn good
Something,
times.
yeah.
And if it's age grouping, then that's still amazing. So it doesn't have to be.
I mean, I would just like to get to the place where I can run 3 times a week
I
and
know.
feel really
You will.
good and happy about it. Like,
Right.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
I was
And
like
you will.
almost there. You know, but-
you were right there when you broke your foot in 2 foot.
I know. It's because
You're
I
right
like
there.
came home to do my midweek run. I was like, I'm gonna get this run on the treadmill done. And like I was smart and jumped on the bike, like because it was not happening.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, at least you did listen to your body at that time before you had any diagnosis. And so yeah, it'll
Oh
come
no,
back.
that was like
and
when it happened. Like I could not
put weight on it.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like I broke my foot. It
Yeah,
did.
you
Like
did.
that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So it's so crazy. Like, I don't know. I can't wait to get to a place where like I can just go out for a nice easy long run and it can feel easy and I can enjoy the whole thing, and like I'm just excited.
I know. And
It'll happen.
It will. And I also like, I'm also being really, you know, I'm also trying to be really open-minded with whatever my journey is, because like I was talking to my neighbor yesterday, he's 10 years older than us. He used to, when we moved into the neighborhood, we'd go to the Reston 10 miler, he'd run it. You know, we'd be like similar. He's a little faster than me. He'd run probably like 20-minute 5Ks back then.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I really, really miss running. And like, I didn't realize that he hasn't been able to run in a few years, because I just, you know, I'm not paying that much attention.
Right.
I do remember when he used to push his daughter in the stroller, who's in high school now. And he said, yeah, my knees, like the cartilage is just not there anymore. It's just like bone on bone. I cannot run at all. I can do swim and walk. And he's had to really come to grips with that as his future at 51 or whatever. And I'm like, okay, this, like, it doesn't mean that's the case for everybody, obviously. But
yeah, we have to like figure out what our fun is.
Right.
You know?
Like, there's ways to be an athlete without.
Like, I was actually thinking about that. Like, I actually really cannot wait to take our bikes out again.
Yeah.
Like, that was so much fun.
That will be so fun.
It was so much fun. And, like, it's not the same as running.
Right.
But it's still fun. And, like, it was fun to, like, go somewhere on the bike. And, like, not just, like I think about the difference between riding the Peloton and, you know, either in Power Zone classes or in a class, like, riding the Peloton versus being out on the trail. Being out on the trail, there's not like, okay, hold this zone for this amount of time.
Right.
I mean, certainly now that we have that experience in Power Zone classes, we might decide, hey, let's do
a 5-minute segment.
Let's do like segments where we feel like this, or like, you know, actually you have bike computer, so like I'm sure it could tell us our zones or whatever, and we'd be like, okay, let's try to do this for this amount of time. But like we just rode for fun.
Yeah.
So
well, and I'm finding a lot of fun in the Peloton because like of those classes, like I did another FTP not too long ago, and I've been doing a lot of classes where I'm getting, you know, higher wattage, higher power, and finding the fun in that, just like when you go out and run really hard, and how like fun it can be to push yourself. Yeah. So I am finding the fun in those classes, but sometimes you just want to go out and be like outside.
Do you know what's funny? I actually like the FTP class or the Power Zone classes over like Cody's. Cody's classes are fun, but like paying attention to what cadence I'm supposed to go, because I just put it on auto. Like, auto resistance, but I also put it on auto power zones too. Mm-hmm. The Power Zone rides are so great because it just adjusts the resistance based on the wattage I'm supposed to put out. Yeah. And so it doesn't matter whatever cadence I'm doing. I can just kind of like zone out. Whereas like in the other classes, I have to pay attention. so I am finding like I like those classes better right now. But,
they're definitely. I mean,
you could almost watch TV during them.
Well, I've done that with some of not during those. I'll put on the entertainment mode and put on the TV if I don't feel like following along with something, or I just want to watch TV but I want to spin my legs too. And, I mean, we just have to find ways to continue to enjoy, and like because they cleared me definitely to walk. They said like that's good for me. Walking on the treadmill at 4.5 miles an hour, which is a nice
that's pretty
fast walk. It feels really good. My heart rate gets to like 120, somewhere in that range, which is that way. It's kind of like the low base of running for me, around where my heart rate would be, without the bouncing, just the kind of power walking. And so that's been helping. And after the walk, I feel my back feels really good from the blood flow and the heat. They told me hot yoga would be really good. I don't not studio right now, but
not Bikram. Like yoga in a hot room might be good, right? But like hot yoga classes, they yell at you.
Can be dangerous. Well, I did.
I've never been more sore in my life. Than going to like Bikram classes.
I'm not going to do anything outside of my home right now with that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, I'll just do my Peloton yoga, and that way I can take it at my own pace. Yeah. And it's not
restorative yoga might be nice.
Yeah.
You can always make it hot by wearing a sweatsuit.
Put on a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
And I like the really slow flow ones. I took one yesterday that was really good. Just the slow flow, and just I modified where if it like felt like I couldn't do something.
That's good.
So with it was a dentist class, so he like it's really nice.
His are so good, because he's like very like chill.
Yeah, I don't like him on the bike.
He's
too chill on the bike.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
No,
but you know what it is? I think it's like, and like the Discover Your Power Zones program, I've skipped a couple classes because I was like, I don't like this music. This is gonna feel I don't like this instructor. Like it's not gonna feel right. So I'm just pretty much going through and just doing the Christine and Matt classes.
Yeah, those are my two favorites.
Yeah, but I prefer Matt. Like he's my favorite.
He's my favorite.
Matt and Cody.
Yeah, Matt and Cody. Matt, like I'll hit higher, wattage than in other classes, and same with Cody. So they're two good ones for power.
And like the FTP test with Dennis, I lowered my FTP score from the one that we did during Yeti. And I'm like, well, I guess this is where I am right now
because
I was
also
music
sick. And stuff.
Exactly. So I've got to find a good
Dennis.
FTP test to
do the Matt ones.
To really get it up there. But
yeah, he's my cheerleader.
Yeah, and then I love Jermaine Johnson for lifting.
Yeah.
He's like the only. I did a Ben Aldis legs yesterday, and that was pretty good. But like for the most part, I like my Jermaine classes.
So I love Adrian, but I'm gonna be not doing this for a little while because it's all like really heavy deadlifts and stuff like that. Because I do all his glutes.
Yeah.
The Adrian Williams classes are really good if you want to feel sore in your glutes, adductors, hamstrings, and sore in a good way. Sore, I really the next day I'm like, oh, it feels the same way as if I raced a half marathon. Adductors, places that I know I'm using during running. So his classes are great for that. It'll be a while before I'm doing that with my 50 pounds of dumbbells because I was doing 25s. But
I need to get some 25s, I think.
They're great. I mean, that's what I've been using for all of my lifting, and then, not for a little while. Not until my neck's better, but yeah. It's the way that, you gotta find the ways to pivot, and whether that's, getting into the pool, like we've done before.
Yeah, I went swimming to get the January swim week badge.
I
had been sick right before. I wanted to go, the weekend before, the weekend it started, but I was sick, and so...
You crammed into Saturday.
Yeah, I did.
The Garmin badges that are, Sunday to Saturday, right?
Yeah, so I got it in. That was, the goal. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go swim. I used my new music player.
Yeah. Well, so here's a question. So my, how treadmill, there's only treadmill, there's not treadmill walking. So when I walked yesterday and it was over 3 miles, I got the badge for the run, the 5K badge.
That's awesome.
Do you switch it to a walk or you just call it a run? What is the, I've been retitling in Strava so people know I'm walking. This is not a run.
Yeah.
It's 14 to 15 minute pace.
I think you can
You can change them in Garmin, but I think you lose the badge because it's a run.
Yeah.
So what?
It's whatever you feel. However you feel about it.
Do I need it to be running miles? That's that was the other depressing thing. Besides, obviously, not enjoying my ski trip, and I was supposed to ski with my daughter that day. She had, she snowboarded the day before, and then in a lesson, and we were gonna ski. But it's I was on such good track with my running mileage, and now I'm gonna lose that. I was getting my 25-ish miles a week the last few weeks, and I was all excited about getting my mileage back.
Well,
it's obviously not going to be that.
I mean,
even walking,
even if you have a down month or two, it'll be okay.
It will.
And it might just be a down couple of weeks.
Right. It's hard to know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the biggest thing is coming back following a very ease back in plan, just be extra conservative.
Your 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Your 5 minutes.
It's not what I want. I want to just jump in and do 30 minutes.
5 miles.
Right.
5 hours.
Right.
Go sign up for some marathons.
Right. Exactly. But I know that in the long run, the time's going to pass anyway. It's better to build it slowly versus jump back in. It would be different if this was our jobs. Right?
If we were pro runners.
Right. So, I mean, I look at Megan, jumping right in 2 weeks postpartum on the bike.
Oh my gosh. Even before that, she was
her job.
I was watching what she was doing, and I was like, how is she doing any of this? I know it's good for you to walk as soon as you can after birth, and but she had a C-section, and she's back into crazy high bike mileage, and
but she had crazy high bike mileage during her pregnancy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just whoa. I'm not passing judgment at all, obviously, and it is she's a pro. So, but it's just whoa. To me, I'd be I don't know if I could do it.
I probably had I not had that injury throughout my pregnancy, and had I not had that pain, I probably would have run a lot sooner and run a lot more.
Yeah.
The problem is that that abdominal tendonitis like just kept flaring, like, and I really could not run until that was gone.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I did run soon after, and
Yeah.
then I also ran too much. Like, I should have been doing strength, because then I started getting these injuries that I had to go get PT for and stuff. So I get
Right.
PT like the pros. I get all of the
but all the
treatments.
PT,
Do all the
That's
treatments.
good, though.
But
I mean, PT is like, rather than running through it, it's better than just running through it. It's better
Yeah.
than quitting. Like, what else are you
Yeah.
gonna do? Just like quit running, quit
Right.
being active? I mean, and hopefully, I mean, maybe this means even more pool running is in our future. Because that's
Exactly.
not the pounding on your neck.
exactly.
Maybe it means like forever 30% of your volume will be in the pool.
right. Exactly. And
So-
again, it means like the other stuff that I started doing and that matters, like Peloton
Yeah.
and strength. So
Yeah. And we have our sick bikes.
Yeah.
Maybe we
Yeah,
need
we'll
to get
get
some
out.
ellipticos.
Yes. Yeah, those would be so fun. And where you
It's
store
like
that.
where do we put
Where do you
that
put that?
stuff, right?
I know.
I mean, even like the lever actually comes with that carrying case.
Nice.
So, and it shrinks down to really small.
Right.
So I was like, okay, this isn't going
It's
to be another
manageable.
giant thing in
Right.
our house.
An elliptico though, oh my gosh.
Yeah, right?
No, neither of us have a garage, so that's like,
No.
I don't know where the heck you put that.
This is why Run Galloway Girls needs to like be an actual
Yeah.
business so that we can have a studio, like an actual
Oh,
like.
and then people could rent
shop.
out the ellipticos.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or I mean, people could just like come
Or
hang.
borrow them.
Yeah, maybe it should be a
Exactly.
shop front, and like people can just come hang out. They can like
There's a lot of real estate available
Yeah.
for storefronts, so.
if we sold beer, then
There you go.
That's
That's
how
what
we
they-
could pay for it.
That's how they was monetized. It's coffee and beer.
I know. Brian keeps talking about starting a guitar store that is a beer store.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah. And I was like, that would be pretty awesome. I was like, basically, I want to make Bike Lane, but for runners.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how they all, both Green Lizard and Bike Lane, that's how they really
Yeah.
monetize, is on the
Yeah.
the coffee
Apparently,
and beer.
Bike Lane never has to sell another bike.
Yeah. Green Lizard's in the same, like they told us years ago when, we used to kind of hang out there a lot, and then we started hanging out at Bike Lane more. But
Yeah.
that like really that's where they make their money. And also like repairs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which is awesome.
yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So
Oh,
maybe
man.
maybe one day. that'll be
Maybe
there.
one day. Maybe one day. I mean, because I just want to buy a bunch of fitness equipment. Just have it.
Just have it. More equipment, more gear.
Oh,
Yeah.
More gear. I mean, it is cool. The lever definitely sold me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to, I think there's a learning curve. And so I'm excited to get through the learning curve
Right.
and like really figure out how this can be a fun tool on the treadmill.
Mhm.
I can see doing straight run half-mile repeats using the lever.
Yeah.
Like to really like with foot speed, like
To
I
work
can
on
see
speed.
that really.
Yeah.
I could also see just like doing slow miles, like short
Yeah.
steps, slow miles, because that's the thing with like the pressure on the hamstring. Like small steps worked, but like actually getting my stride didn't quite work. So.
Yeah, but it can definitely, again, kind of like with pool running and
Yeah.
with biking, it can add your base and add your mileage
Right.
if you need to get, if you need to put up some more mileage, which we do eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're eventually, and we're definitely going to have
Eventually.
hopefully some fall marathons.
Yeah. Well, we
Hopefully.
signed up for some.
We're signed up
so-
for Marine Corps. I need to sign up for CIM because I just want it. I
I'm-
kind of just want it on the calendar, even though I know
Yeah.
you may or may not.
I'm
Who
signed
knows?
up.
Who knows
I'm
what'll
signed up
happen.
for Marine Corps and CIM.
Good.
So
I'll just sign up just so it's there.
who
'cause-
knows? Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen in life?
Yes.
I go back and forth as to have another baby now
Right.
or get my body back and get running and then have a baby. And because here's the thing. Having gone through pregnancy now, I know what to do
Yeah.
that I didn't do.
Yeah.
I should have been doing strength work during my pregnancy.
Yeah.
I should not have been focused on running. I should have been focused on strength
It's hard
work.
though because there's a lot you can't do later on with the core stuff, but yeah,
No,
can
there's
focus on
so
strength.
there's so much you can do, and there's
Yeah.
so many videos,
That's true.
strength videos with super pregnant people
Peloton.
doing them in Peloton.
Yeah.
So I just look for a pregnant belly and do that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's true. There's a lot you can do.
So yeah, so that's like my
Conundrum.
my
right now. It's
thoughts.
like, how
But
do- yeah.
I figure like the universe will just work out. We'll just get a sign, and it will happen however it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Whenever it feels right, it will happen. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to get uninjured, but we also need to do a specific episode about why we keep talking about strength and why strength
Yes.
is so important. Because newsflash, if you're not getting stronger, you're getting weaker.
Yep. Especially if
By a
you're
lot.
30 or older. Like,
Which is are you kidding me?
which is like, yeah,
That's so
it is.
young.
And it's crazy because, yeah, you don't think about it until it hits you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. With your neck injury, I'm scared. So next weekend, Brian's childcare center is doing a ski trip when it's just an everybody go together caravan down
yeah.
to Liberty, and he might have to go. And I was like, well, if you have to go, maybe I'll go with you, and we
Right.
can get a babysitter and we can snowboard together.
Fun.
But I'm oh, I don't want to get injured again. I just got uninjured.
Well, I'm so scared skiing. I see so many people get who become quadriplegics because someone hits them on,
Yeah.
when they're going too fast down. So, and there was nothing like that. It was actually really empty because it was 0 or negative whatever degrees. So there was no one around. It was great.
And it was during the week,
The powder
too.
was great. And I didn't fall. I had a couple of moments where I slipped and I catch myself upright. But it really doesn't take much, especially if you have any kind of tendon or if you're just in your 40s. You have degenerative, body parts at this point, and they can. So I don't know if it's skiing related or not, but I do know that I'm always super freaked out about getting hit by someone else or falling.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't love it enough. I love the time with my
Yeah.
family out there, and so I don't love enough to where I would go out and do it all the time by myself. It's just like anything else. I'm not a high impact person. It is a potential high impact sport. So
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be fun. I haven't been in so long, so long, but I remember loving it when I used to go. Amanda and I used to take off work and go skiing and snowboarding. I would snowboard and she would ski. Yeah.
well, and
I had one year I had a pass to, it was when Liberty, Whitetail, and Roundtail
Yeah.
were all
They
one,
sometimes do that.
now they're Vail.
yeah.
So now they're on the Epic Pass, but I got a pass one year that included my rentals and it included a lesson every time I went.
Oh, nice.
So I would do my lesson and Amanda would go ski the backside of the mountain on her own and I would snowboard. And then by the time I was done with my lesson, I was good enough to go on all the blues with her.
Nice.
So-
Well, and also Whitetail Liberty, their blues are greens
Yeah.
other places, and their
Yeah.
blacks are blues at snowshoes.
Right.
It's also less scary to go somewhere with a big
around
mountain
here.
to me.
Yeah.
That doesn't scare me as much, but I do.
I
just feel
know
like
the
I'm-
downhill bike park at Snowshoe is insane compared to the tiny Bryce Mountain that's an hour and a half. from
Yeah,
here.
it's also I used to love it a lot more. I think once I got comfortable, but when I was younger, and now I just have more fear about
Yeah.
falling than I did when I was younger. I'm more just I don't know. I'm just afraid, and that's I did like it more when and I liked, especially by second or third day, I always would enjoy. And now I'm just trying to keep up because Lila is zooming down the black diamonds, and she's gonna the good thing was without me there holding them back, they went and did the double blacks over on Western Territory.
Yeah.
And I was I'm probably not gonna come do Western Territory anyway because
Right.
it's too
You
hard
and
on me.
Julian just take the
I know.
greens.
I'll just wait till he catches up to me, and then I can do when he's
Yeah.
good at when he can stop.
You know the problem around here is we actually the fun runs are not the super steep ones that have all the cool hits or whatever. It's long trails
Right.
are fun.
That's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
But you have to be going fast enough to not stop on them, because even some ones with snowshoe that are the longer greens.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
sometimes
no,
are
I
too
hate-
flat
no,
parts
yeah.
of them.
They have to
But
be
yeah.
steep enough to be able to go,
Right.
but long enough to be able to have fun.
Or at least you keep
Like,
your momentum. Like
That's
even,
where like Colorado seems like something I
that would
want
be
to
fun
do because
someday.
you know there's just like you can ski for a long or snowboard for a long time because the runs are long.
Right. And the runs are longer at snowshoe. They're all over like a mile. But with, you know, and even with my like being super scared, my max speed will always be like 25 miles an hour each run. And
Yeah.
25 miles is fast
So
enough to get
fast.
hurt. Even
It's
though I'm
so
not
fast.
going, like we've gone with friends who are going 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, no,
So that's
25
good
is
about being cautious.
so
He's not one of those
25 is
friends.
so fast. Like
It's fast enough to
on-
get hurt.
on a bike, like that, like
Yeah.
outside on a bike, like I
It's
start to
fast.
get scared.
Same.
And like we did electric scooters for a little while, and like the electric scooters are like maxed out at 10. But if you're going downhill, they will go 20.
Right.
They'll even
Just
go
by the
faster than
just
that.
gravity.
But the I would put the brakes on. Like 20 is like my
Cut off.
fear,
Yeah.
like you know
Wall.
edge. Yeah.
And that's why I like the Peloton, because I can go fast without any
Yeah.
fear of, you know, getting hurt. So yeah, I think that's, for me, it's like this, just, you know, being afraid. So I'm not able to just kind of chill.
yeah.
I probably just need to take some like gummies or something and be like, chill. I need to figure out how to
Chill
chill.
out while you. No, that's a surefire way
Yeah,
to get
to get hurt.
injured. Be like barely moving. Oh my god, I'm going so
I'm
fast.
flying. But yeah, so I don't know. There's like, you know, that whole thing of when you're young and fearless, and
Yeah. Oh
I'm
man.
not that.
I know. It reminds me of like when we went for Lila's birthday. We went to the trampoline place.
Yeah.
And like we were both so sore afterwards. We're like, why are we old?
Well, I don't know if I talked about it here, but the other reason I can't do that anymore is the prolapse.
Yeah.
And you pee a little once you've had 2 babies.
Oh.
And so I can't do trampoline parks anymore.
That was
sadly.
like right before I transferred Addison. So
Yeah, it was like right
Yeah.
before. Yeah. But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I don't, there's no bouncing for me anymore. I
yeah.
was like, nope.
Well, you know what? That core work should help that.
It will help, but I don't know if
Pelvic
it'll
floor
solve it completely because, yeah.
Strong Core Mama says it will.
Okay. I don't have it any other time. Like
Yeah.
not running and not
That's
sneezing. I can't sneeze right now because of my neck, but I don't have like
Just the
pro-
trampoline.
yeah, it was only extreme,
Yeah.
like the trampoline. I don't
That
have
makes sense.
yeah, I don't pee all the time like a lot of people.
Because like your organs are going up and down too.
Yeah,
That's like
exactly.
one of Newton's laws. Well, with that, please like and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Like us on, go on YouTube and subscribe. Tell us what you want us to cover. Hopefully
Yeah.
we'll both be back to our fitness,
Actual running.
and
Send us
walking
questions. Like love to
and
answer
everything.
questions.
Yeah. And we're going to try to figure out how to do podcasting on the go because that might be fun too.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Yeah, I think we just need mics that, like a mic or two that can hook up to.
Like the little
Our
lapel ones
phone.
or
Yeah.
something. Or we can hold the phones and record through the phone.
Yeah, or
We'll
if we're a
look
backpack with the MacBook. Oh, I'll like figure out a way. Oh, we'll put the MacBook on my carrier seat me thing, and we'll just like strap it all down, and we'll like be on the go with a big battery pack. Oh my gosh,
That'll be
too
great.
much. Because this MacBook that we record on would not survive not being plugged
That's
in.
true.
It would record for like 10 minutes, and then it'd be like doo doo doo.
You get some mini episodes.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you so much for listening this
Yeah.
far, and we hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.